Hello everyone, welcome back to MoteMancer. Yesterday, I played around with Slicks and did enough manual mycelium research to get my first pair of void chests. And mused that it seems like they're fairly useless if you can't select a channel for them, right? Because there's no inventory filtering, all you can really do is use it to transfer one item, or one kind of item. So not useless. Not at all useless. Very useful. But not in the way I thought they might have been. They don't seem like a solution for general logistics. What they seem like is a way to have one kind of item kind of decoupled from some of the logistics, right? In particular, the most hotly demanded items, I can just kind of have on demand by having a site that mines them. Hotly demanded item, singular. Most highly demanded type of item, singular. I can have many of them, plural, on demand by setting up mining sites that just dump all the output into mining or building sites, whatever, that dump all the output into a void chest. And then whenever I need that item type, just put down a void chest somewhere and extract it. So, from what I hear on the Discord, you eventually unlock 3 different void chests that actually have distinct inventories. And so the obvious things to share across the whole universe that are needed everywhere in vast quantities are salt, ether, and salt prisms. So having the logistics for those simplified sure sounds nice. It is kind of a bummer that you still will have to run power to these outposts, because otherwise I could just, for example, set up a new ether mining facility somewhere, dump everything into a salt chest, and have that be self-sustaining. Nothing else happens there, right? Did I say salt chest or void chest? Like this, for example, could be a new ether mining facility. And I wouldn't have to run power to it. Except, of course, I do have to run power to it, which is annoying. But at least I don't have to run slicks to and from it. I can just have some void chests. So there's some thinking to do about... Well, some design to do, let's say, about how to make use of that. Ooh, what is this? Earth! Yeah. We don't have that much earth lying around. Okay. So I think here on the fire plane, it should be either salt or ether, right? Salt prisms are the luxury I want last, I think. And ether is very easy to come by here, and we need a lot of it for numerous things. For example, firewires. Which I don't have automated yet and really ought to be my next step. Because I think, like, yes, there's more... I do want shade collectors, don't I? So I don't have to use these crummy basic collectors for shadow anymore, because I want it, that would let you more easily more efficiently exploit motes of shadow, which are in relatively limited supply here. So maybe I'm just going to build 200 mycelium by hand. It's the same exact idiotic thing I did on Earth, where I said I'm not going to automate ingots. I'll just do everything that requires ingots by hand. And at the end of it, I was like, boy, I wish I had some ingots. The mycelium isn't even hard. It's just, okay. Yeah, like this stuff requires void chests, which I don't necessarily want to automate. It just seems like a lot of work. And no, I do, because I want to have access to a large number of void chests. So I really ought to automate those. And then if I'm doing that, hey, I can, I don't know, feels... No, I shouldn't automate these. They're easy enough to make by hand, right? How expensive are they? 11 mycelium and 11 Ichorslix? That is a lot. Anyway, I was saying, and before I interrupted myself, there's some design to do about how to actually use... help? I'm stuck. To use... Like, to lay outposts out that uses void chests efficiently. You know, one thing you could do would be to try to mine or grind or whatever directly into void chests. That would be the most expensive way to do it, is just put a void chest here, a void chest here. You could do fewer. Because, like, obviously these two could both be outputting onto the same space if I, for example, put a gripper like that. So I could just use one void chest per 2 grindstones, for example. But that seems wasteful. And I think you could do better if you had, like... Well, I don't know. It wastes void chests. Is that what you should be optimizing? I don't know. But you could, for example, do this. Oh, these are all backwards. Right? And that's 6 things outputting into a void chest. I guess that's not the most efficient, though. So, because even for a small mining outpost like this, I need 8 grindstones, so I would need at least more than one of those things. So, that would be the most... Well, actually, if we really wanted to preserve void chests because they're expensive to build, I guess you could do even more than that, couldn't you? You could do what I just had. And then even more. Oh, no, I can't. Because these, if I wanted to put reaching grippers in, depositing the same void chest, they would have to be in the same space that the magma grippers are. Okay. So you can't do that. But you could do something like... Didn't I have 2 void chests? Oh, there, I put it down already. I don't remember doing that, but okay. You could do this to get 8 of them into 2 void chests and so on. And like add 2 grippers per 1 void chest and you'd have 8. But I don't know, I think void chests are kind of... Oh, also, how would this be powered? Like... Not very well is the answer. Because this would have to go into the slick, right? So... I mean, right now void chests are the expensive thing, but they're not actually expensive. I can build plenty of them if I just go pick up more salt and more elemental shadow, right? Oh, which I don't have around here, but I guess they are quite expensive. It's 50 elemental shadow for a single void chest. So maybe optimizing them is like a perfectly reasonable and not at all resource hoarding kind of thing to do. Do that, right? And then have, you know, firewire flanking it like so, and then set up more throughput in this way. Right? So this could be what what it looks like to create a salt mine, the logistics for shipping salt from a mining outpost. And then you would do the same thing, but with the grippers pointing the other way to extract salt, to get salt out of a chest, or ether, since that's what I was actually planning to do with void chests first. Now, each of these magma grippers, in order for there to be any reason to have all of these grippers, I've only put down 8, but of course we could do up to 12. Each of these that is placed, it's kind of pointless to have it there unless it is matched by another gripper extracting from grindstones. Although, actually, grinding up ether... So what I just said is not true. We could actually have relatively few grippers here, because these grippers are not working anything like full-time, even if I were consuming all the salt, right? This only produces 1 salt every 2 seconds. And these are like 4 times as strong. 5? No, I don't know. They can lose 5 items per second. So are they 10 times better? No, 5 items per 2 seconds. They're 5 times better. Something does not add up about that math. And I know, like, focusing on ratios when, look, this outpost I built isn't even doing anything. Why are ratios important? I just like them, so, like, screw you. Imaginary person who's criticizing me for caring too much about ratios. So actually, I think this would be a perfectly fine delivery without setting up even more of it over here. Right? If one day, when I have access to pyrolyzers, I can build more efficient, more powerful, more... I'm thinking of the word of, like, it makes more prodigious, productive mining outposts to produce ether. But and in that case, I'm not sure exactly, because isn't it like a single moat patch? I mean, we could get more out of it, but not a ton more, probably. Twice as much as this, so... I don't remember. Anyway, I mean, I think maybe we would need as much as this, but we shouldn't need more for mining a single patch. Now, there's that patch up north that has, like... Or not patch, the future mining site up north that has 2 very convenient patches of fire. And so for that, I would need... I mean... With what I'm currently producing, these are making... I think 4 items per second is the point, right? Yeah, that's why we did this. This is 1 item per second times 4, yeah, so... double that is 8 items per second. Double it again, because we'll be using better miners, is like 16 items per second. Which is 6 or 7... 6 times 2.5 is 15. Yeah, so 6 grippers can already handle, I think, 2... Oh, but then I'm going to double it again because I'll be using brinaries. So we're going to want, like, roughly 12 grippers to get this thing really going at maximum capacity. And even that is just not that many void chests, so that's fine. Okay. So I don't think we really need to automate more shadow stuff right now. I think I should finally get down to the business of automating fire here on the fire plane. I've done the... well, but I wanted this. Shade collectors, right? And I could have been manually crafting mycelium all this time. Because I don't know. I don't really want to automate any more shadow research. This stuff would be fine. This would be fine, but I think I've done enough shadow here. The rest will have to wait for a plane where shadow is more abundant. Anyway, so what is it that I need for more mycelium? Elemental shadow. Alright, I mean that's hundreds. That's enough to just do the research. Oh no, stop, don't make more salt. I have a rift full of salt, or a slick full of salt coming down here, but I don't have a good way to extract it. Where? Am I making salt somewhere? Not in here, huh? Interesting. 'Cause I don't think there's a way for me to actually extract items from this. Only grippers can do it as far as I can tell. You know what? I should have just made the salt. Walking all the way up here is costing me more time than just going down there and feeding the research. Oh, that's bismuth. So you... and you can start researching now. I have a lot of mycelium to make. Yeah, I should have been making it while I was doing all that thinking about void chests. Well, I should have automated it if I were a good little boy, but I'm not, clearly. So... right, but in order to... okay, so, right, I guess the other thing I left off with when we ended yesterday was... I was talking about automating, I think it was ingots, right? Because ingots are just fire and salt, and here's fire, here's salt, right? And if I had something making ingots for me, I could, churn out a bunch of fire wires, I could start doing real fire research. Right, because fire prisms, elemental fire ingots, none of that stuff is too complicated. And I would like these pyrolyzers as my next research step. So getting all that going would be nice. Like, I don't even know if I need runaway reaction, really. Ah, scour. That's the upgrade I've been missing to, like, what exactly is the permanent solution to rifts? Like, the automated solution. Because I've been putting down incineration spires and then manually cleaning up the entropy. Thinking, well, water can clean up entropy, and there's a fire spell that cleans up entropy, but what's the automated way? If I had unlimited incineration spires, I could just put one next to everything I care about, and it could close the rifts, but by the time it closed them, the entropy would be there. Scour says, oh yeah, it'll also clean up the entropy. So I could just, like, put one down and leave it there. Okay, cool. So I do want this. Not the most urgent thing, but I would like it. And automating incineration spires looks like it's going to be important for multiple researches. I guess I'm going to have to go here next-ish. So fire prisms are important. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so, but ingots, right? I said, oh, I have salt here, I have fire here. You know, on any other plane or if I hadn't, before I discovered slicks, I would have just said, you know what, it's not the most disciplined thing, but I'll just run some salt over here, run it under this slick, and then have salt and elemental fire over here to make ingots with. But I couldn't figure out a way to cross slicks. I haven't put a ton of thought into it, but like, you know, if I have a thing here, a slick that wants to go across this, there's no undergrounds. Maybe there's some in master research, but I think there isn't. So I think the only thing you can do is use grippers, but I can't even figure out how to do that. Like, let's say I had, you know, this and this, and I wanted to cross them. Or maybe for an even more idealized scenario, I could say I have two parallel lines, and I can extend them as much as I want. But I want to end this line and start a new one with its contents here or something, right? So leave this unbroken, but copy items from here to here. I don't see how you can do it. I haven't put anything down, but it seems like you would have to use reaching grippers, right? And I could use as many as I wanted because, like, if there could be a billion items per second in here. Obviously, I won't be building anything that big, but it could be large. Multiple reaching grippers could be appropriate, and that's fine. But I can't even figure out how to put down one of them. Because a gripper pointing at this thing, it seems... Like, how do I... Okay, fine. This is the tile of this stuff that I'm taking from. Now, how do I fit two streams on the other side of this such that one of them receives this and the other one is in between those two? I can say, all right, here's the output, but, like, where's the stream I was skipping over? Here? No, they're connected. Which is supposed to not happen. Can I route it around the gripper to this side? No, because it can only be two away from what it's touching here. Right? Now this doesn't have to connect up. I could maybe do like that. But that doesn't help, does it? This tile here is the bottleneck. No, I'm done making all my mycelium. So anyway, that's what I've been kind of puzzling over in my mind overnight since the last recording session, is what to do about that. I heard someone say you need reaching grippers to do it. And I'm like, I can't even see how to do it with reaching grippers. Why does this say it has mycelium when it clearly doesn't? I don't know. Yeah, so I need 130 something more. Oh, you're more full than this is, isn't it? Okay. I think that's enough mycelium. I believe I made enough. Yeah, so I just don't see a way to cross these. It's clearly possible. because someone said it is, and it would be kind of crazy if it weren't. But much like this facility that I designed yesterday, before I designed this, I couldn't see how to have a row of buildings have access to more than 2 slicks, one on each side. Here, I don't see how to have slicks cross. So okay. This is making an assumption that is unfounded, which is that in order to cross slicks, you can only use slicks. I believe if I used slabs, I could do this, right? So, or even chests? Yeah, chests, I think. Okay, so let's get back to this scenario. I don't think these even have to be reaching grippers, do they? They could be magma grippers. You could do something like this, with a chest here, and then have this kind of continue on south. A reaching gripper here to my new output on the other side. Perhaps as many as 3? I think so. Like that, right? Okay, we finished the research on shade collectors. So that was the last thing I wanted to manually do. And in this way, there's still room. There isn't, not here. So I can't actually do 3 of these, which is fine. For that original one to carry on. So we just kind of need a rendezvous point for these grippers that isn't a slick, I think is the point. Okay. And then you could, of course, repeat this pattern any number of times to have as much throughput as you need for jumping over. How's my research on life going, by the way? This looks like it's almost done. Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter. I don't even know if it's actually still running. You would think so, because it would be a surprise if it stopped so close to the end, and I don't think I've done anything to my... I've placed any rifts that would cover up stuff on life, but I could be wrong. Sure doesn't seem to be doing anything. And I thought I was making a keystone more often than this. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So still proceeding. Yeah, so this looks how you can cross slicks. And you have to repeat this a number of times to get the throughput that you might want, but it's doable. And it requires power, sadly, because of the reaching grippers, so I can't just plop it down in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to have to run power to it if I ever want to cross slicks. Okay. So I guess I'd better get started on that. Is this the place where I want to start doing everything I do with fire. Probably. And I'm going to want more binders than this if I do that, right? Actually, these guys. Needs a bunch more elemental shadow. Okay. Because I should... Oh, look how many I can make. Let's make 20. Oh, it's so expensive. Stop. Stop. Pick up the salt. Building all that salt by hand is just such a waste of time. I can't fit stuff. So this is building mycelium by hand, which, I mean, is not exactly a virtue, but... Okay, that's too many. There, just 20 of those will do for now. So I can replace this, and then I guess that would mean scaling up salt production? To produce more of this. But let's just work with what I have now, because this is tileable. I can just build more of it. This I placed in an awkward spot, but I think I could just, I could just build another copy of this down here, fed by the same thing, have the salt coming out on the left side and route it in here, right? So easy to double this. Okay, so what I should do then is... God, this would all be so much easier if I just had void chests for salt and ether. But I've decided I want the salt here. The void chest here devoted to ether. So I don't want to use it for this, which is salt. Some of these aren't running anymore. Are you empty? No. Just, I see. The two nearer ones are, for whatever reason, being prioritized by everything that's using these outputs. Which is the salt. Okay. I should also just build a ton of salt prisms while I'm here. And then get more salt. Because you just want all of those. Okay, so if this is where I'm going to start doing all my production that uses elemental fire. First of all, do I have space? I mean, I have some. What the hell is this? Oh, I built this so I wouldn't forget something. There's a mining outpost over here that I haven't built yet, right? What was it? Oh, what a nice surprise. Fire? Why did I mark this? There's fire everywhere, man. I must have been having trouble finding fire, or is there something else in the neighborhood? Like a nearby source of earth you can work with or something? Shadow? I see motes of shadow, or well, doodads of shadow, no motes of shadow. I must have really been struggling to find fire if I thought that was important to mark. Okay, well, noted. So most of the stuff I can build for fire is going to take a bunch of ingots, right? So I think it's reasonable. I don't know exactly how much to automate, but that's the nice thing about tileable, scalable... Oh, maybe I was excited there's more fire here. I thought this will be a nice ether factory. Or maybe I thought that'll be a nice source of additional... Ah, yes, because up here, this is way too little, right? I just don't have enough fire here to actually support any serious production scale. So I was going to connect this up to the fire down there. Oh, yeah. And then the stuff up here, I guess, I still think I want to devote to ether. Up here somewhere. Not you. That's shadow, isn't it? It is. Oh, hey, good news. I can use shade collectors now. So I can just take all of my shadow mines, and I can't empty this. Okay, I have so many motes of shadow. My inventory is too full. It can't give me stuff, huh? All right, just throw all this away. I'm about to get a bunch more. Okay. So I can design a new mining layout for shadow, everybody's favorite thing. It is fun to design new mining layouts. And I've never gotten the radiant whatever upgrade for any element. Oh, I still can't fit all this, huh? These root-bound grippers that I brought with me are junk. They're expensive, but I just don't want them. Okay, so... You? Hey, I finished some life research, I assume? Yeah. Yeah, my canopies are more efficient. How nice. Big. Really big. 6 tiles? So this produces twice as much output as the smaller ones, but it takes twice as many tiles. So it's not actually going to be much better at extracting motes from a mote field, as far as I can see. Only once I get upgrades on it will it start to actually shine, I think. I've never gotten the, like, radiant upgrade for anything except verdant collectors, which I got it after I was done doing verdant collectors. So I've never actually used the really big range of those things to any success. And somewhere there should be something that increases efficiency or extraction speed for these things. But I don't have it yet. Oh, you know what? Make some more binders too. Oh my gosh, those sucked up everything I have in my inventory. So, okay, I mean, I'm not quite sure how to make an efficient layout for this yet. There must be something in the way here. Okay, I was like, why isn't it letting me put stuff down? So I could do like this. Well, maybe I shouldn't start that way. One kind of cute idea that I saw on the Discord recently is that people had set up things like this where, I mean, not quite like this, but where like even it's kind of a closed, but then they put an underground in so that you could actually extract the stuff, right? There are no underground slicks, so I don't think that's going to work. But I think, you know, something like this is tileable-ish. I mean, it certainly is. It just isn't necessarily the most efficient. So I could add something like here, maybe, that makes slightly better use of the space, I think. Actually, let's knock these poles over for the moment so that I don't waste mote fields on motes that might end up being destroyed when I decide I don't like the layout. This looks very haphazard. Looks cursed even. Not room for much along the bottom, huh? Yeah, this is only like got access to 800 motes total. I can squeeze it in like that, I guess. Again, not room for much there. That's okay. Something like that, maybe? Right? I mean, it doesn't look organized at all, but I think it's doing okay at extracting modes. And it's not too difficult to power. There are a few gaps in there. Alright. And this is 10 extractors, although some of them are going to run dry pretty quickly. Kind of cool. Okay, so I was up here because... why again? Oh, is this Earth? It is. Okay, we love Earth. Because my reaching grippers are a non-renewable supply right now. But automating Firewire is more important. More urgent. I need both of those things eventually. Am I lost? Where's all my everything? Over here? Yeah. How's my research on, like, I just have these things. I didn't upgrade them or anything. Where was the increased, it's master level research, right? Yeah, the array thing triples locations, collection locations. Is this going, by the way? It is. And in Earth, I imagine it was the same, right? It's right here and I didn't do it. Yeah, okay. And in water... I can't see it because it's in master level stuff. Got it. So I think these are actually... like, I don't need to revamp every moat patch. Oh, I need more ichor. Need a lot more. Oh, plus, I still have a bunch of elemental earth with me, so and I brought a bunch of granite, although I don't think reaching rippers even use that, do they? No. Alright, where is it? I know there's a chest somewhere. Must be here. That should be plenty for the moment. 500 slicks, I think, is what I grabbed. I counted 10 clicks. They were 50 each. So first of all, I should not try to drag this all the way left. I should just send it up to where I currently have some mining. Because crossing is an expensive proposition, which I don't want to do unless there's a reason. So this stuff, yeah, could come up through here. Like that. I thought I turned on excavator. So I ran all this and it turned out I don't want it. That's life. God, I need ether. I never set up the ether mining facility. This game is so hard. There's just, you always need everything, you know? I mean, that's not exactly a shocking statement, but it kind of is. No, I can't get across. At least I have a bunch of salt prisms. Nope, I built them all and then I turned them into something, apparently. Who knows what? Collectors? Inventory's full again of motes of shadow that nobody ever asked for. I don't mind carrying around elemental stuff. Man, I need salt too. It's just like... it never stops. I'm hopeful, by the way, that I'll want to have like my full playthrough on YouTube, or that I will indeed finish the game at all, even off camera. No guarantees, but so far I haven't really experienced a huge drop in interest like I often do for this, you know, for factory games. I still need more ether, oh my god. So maybe I shouldn't set this up yet. I should set up ether production, which I wanted to do over here. That is Earth. Somewhere around here there were like two fields of motes of fire right near each other. Here and here? Oh, but I didn't want to build up here because it's actually getting into the area where my Earth factory is. Right. Well, but I have incineration towers? Is that what they're called? Spires. So I could do that. I just don't want to unleash entropy on my Earth factory without a good reason. Although I guess nothing's happening there anyway, so I could. Yeah, this is where I said I wanted to set up ether mining, I think. Okay, I mean, fine. Am I missing any? Oh, there's one. The Earth Factory is, I guess, all it's making magma grippers to send to me. I would like that shipment to continue. It's invisible, this stuff. Ugh. Okay. So I built a bunch of these guys, Ember Collectors. And I had the cute idea at some point of lining them up like this. And it still seems like a decent idea, I think. Is there something in my way still? There is. God, I hate this game. Okay. Said with love, but also hate. How did I end up with this asymmetry here? Why are these two further away than these two? But these two are closer. Because these are... Oh. Right. Okay. I mean, it's not the most important thing, but let's try to be symmetrical. Well, I guess it's sort of just that I didn't actually build them in a straight line. And I think that I'm maybe okay with that. I don't know. Let's try doing it like this. Now it still is way off. Am I high? No. Look. This one is further away from this one than this one is from this one. And I think the reason is that it's something to do with this guy. Yeah, I see. On this one, I built the top leg above its partner because there's nothing up there, so why not? On this one, I didn't have that luxury, so I had to build below, and then I built below on this one as well. I see. I guess that's fine. Also of note, I suppose, I'm actually going to lower this a little bit. I think building this way with like void chests might in some way free me from the tyranny of ratios. The Hobgoblin of Small Minds. Because I don't know, I don't have any idea how much this is making. And I don't really care, right? I mean, I do care. Because I want to make sure that I'm not exporting these motes of fire. They're being processed locally into ether. I don't really care how much ether I produce. But it should be as much as I can extract from the motes of fire that I'm getting from these collectors, right? Not more, not less. And that just means I have to match each collector with a grindstone. Is that right? These make 1 item per 2 seconds. And that's what grindstones do. By the way, I need a bunch more of these guys. Okay. Out of curiosity, how much better would a thermal tower be at powering this? They're so big, I can't even fit one. They suck. I don't know. I don't, like... In Factorio, I eventually got converted to, like, yeah, actually substations are pretty cool. I think I just need 2 of these, right? At first I was like, why would you do that when you can just run small power poles? But you can, like, you can pack your factories tighter, which eventually matters once you get to beacons. Kind of. I never really did that, but you know, or setting up mining outposts. If you don't have to string power poles, you can just put down one substation. It's kind of nice. But the thermal towers in this game are just barely bigger, right? Than Firewires? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's noticeably bigger, but look, they don't even... Actually, do they transmit power a further distance as well? No. Like, I can't do this, even though they overlap. But this has to be within range of the other tower to connect. Like, right? If I were to run Firewires some distance, and I wanted to run thermal towers a similar distance, I need them not as often, but almost. I'm only saving like 1 tile per tower. So it seems to me they're atrocious at being big power poles. And they're okay at being substations, but not amazing. So I don't know. I'm not converted yet. Maybe someday. I guess in some sense I'm not really freeing myself from the tyranny of ratios so much as from the tyranny of slabs and streamway throughputs. And that makes sense, because that actually is what these are good at, right? They have unlimited throughput. So I do want my buildings ratioed, but it doesn't have to be... a specific fixed number based on the transport method I'm using. And of course, it never had to be that, right? I could have built at whatever scale I wanted, because most of the time, most of my factory is idle, and so the ratios don't really matter at all. But it appeals to me to build the factory such that if it were that I could consume everything, it would just be nice if things like scaled properly. And there's multiple reasons like why that doesn't actually work, because there's multiple spots in my factory where I'm like, oh yeah, well, forget the ratios. That's the whole thing doesn't really hold up, but it's an ideal to aspire to for me, I guess I would say. Even though I don't, generally speaking, reach it. Okay, so this one's actually doing something. Although it would be a little more appealing if it were over there. Ah! Right, you can't delete the middle one, though. There we go. So, this is 3... This is 12, right? I can't count 12 of these. Ah, there aren't 12 yellow squares because many of them are overlapping. But there are 12 collectors. 2 columns of 3, each 2 wide. 12. So 24 collectors, which means I want 24 grindstones, which will eventually be down to 12 pyrolyzers, I assume. And that is going to be a humongous pile of ether, more than I think I've ever had. I made a big salt factory on Earth. I didn't really make that big an ether factory. And this isn't even really all that much, it seems like. $24. Yeah, so it's like 1 and a bit streamways. It's not that much. But the point is, with the power of void chests, that this doesn't have to be... Oh, wait, no, it's even less than that, right? Because this is 24 per 2 seconds, right? Yeah. There's only 12 per second. So this is less than a streamway. But because of void chests, I can just build another copy of this somewhere and just get more. Oh, right. But one day this will be doubled because I'll have pyrolyzers, which can produce ether twice as efficiently from the same input. Okay, fine. Anyway, I should get going on those grindstones. How many do I have? Of course, 0. I can build 36. That's more than I need for the current supply. Oh no, it's making ether. Yeah, well, that's life. This is why you're supposed to set up a salt mall to like just build these things, but I'm irresponsible. And I'm suffering for my own shortcomings, which is appropriate. So let's set up somewhere, and this I don't think needs to be scalable, because I'm never gonna add more salt ether production to this section of the world. I'm just gonna add another copy of this somewhere else in the world is the plan. So that's 10, which is fine. Okay. And then I'm going to want the same thing on the other side of this slick. And I'll actually want more than 10 on each side, but this is just setting up. This is not aesthetic, because I'm not actually mirroring this. All right, wouldn't it be nicer if I did it like this? Wait, am I not? Are these not even lined up? What's wrong with me? Like so. No, right, these are too close. Okay. I know this doesn't matter. Give me a break. I want these reversed, but still at the same vertical coordinates, so to speak, so that I can do this. think this is bigger than the salt mine I set up on Earth. I'm not sure. And I actually wanted 2 more of these in each column to match the production of fire that I have. Okay, then we need to run some wires in. The only things that need to be powered, though, are these guys. So I can actually run power in the middle instead of on the outside. And then it connects up nicely with what's up there. That's nice. All right, we're getting there. Now, I've been ignoring lighting my stuff up. And I think in general, I will continue to ignore that. But for some reason, in this moment... Oh my god, they're so expensive. Forget it. In this moment, for some reason, I wanted to light this up. But now I don't want to because it's expensive. Yeah, I mean, make all the salt, like... These motes are not doing anything in my hands. All I can do is grind them up. I may as well just do that automatically. Cool. Now we have 12 per second. Each magma gripper is 2.5 per second, so I need just 5 magma grippers to put into a void chest at the end, right? Yes, math checks out. Okay, great. Which means I only need 1 void chest at the end of all this. Right there, let's say. It could even be closer up. No, I can't put it that close. It would run into the input slick. I'll put in 6 just in case I miscounted somewhere. Ta-da! Okay, now I mean the whole thing needs to actually get power, but that shouldn't be too hard. Except that I've run out of fire wires, I guess. Where is my home? It's down here, right? Yeah. Can you bridge these gaps? Not this one, but a really narrow one, I assume I could. Like I could cut this corner a little bit, maybe? Yes. Cutting it close in terms of having enough fire wires to bootstrap the firewire production. I think I'm not going to make it. It's very close. I'm like a micrometer away. All right. Give me everything you got. let's just make sure that's all working. There shouldn't be any buffer. It should have started immediately. Oh, I didn't connect this up. Right, when you turn on a factory, yeah, look, they all started at the same time. It's beautiful. Okay, look at all that. Put that firewire back in your pocket. I'm taking this ether and making firewire a little bit more quickly. Yeah, I used up my elemental fire. Okay. And indeed, only 5 of these are running, as expected. But now I have ready access to ether anywhere on this plane, and I believe these work cross-plane, so in principle I could have it anywhere. I still need to power that stuff. Yeah, just give me all the ether, because I need a ton of fire wires. I need more elemental fire, but I mean that's elsewhere. So now I can, I think, make enough fire wires, to connect up the mining facility I had in mind for elemental fire. Is it better to go down this way or across here? They should be the same distance at the moment, right? This is an equilateral triangle in hex. But this is some. I mean, I'm not going to tear this down ever. Whereas maybe this gets rejiggered someday. Interesting that this counter, the tooltip under my finger, is not being updated as I make new firewire, even though this is. That would be a nice little... You know, let me take a screenshot of this. Did that work? It just flashed up the rest of my desktop at me for a second. The game is like hanging. Are screenshots that taxing? You're putting screenshots to my monitor like hundreds of, well, tens of times a second. Yeah, there's something that goes wrong with the game when you've been running it for any length of time, and then any other application tries to do anything. It could just be like, okay, I'm out of memory, and it starts swapping anytime something other than MoteMancer has to happen. But it really doesn't seem like it should be... Oh, yeah, okay, and it broke my aspect ratio. I mean, I can fix it, I guess. It doesn't seem like it should be any worse than it is when you start playing, right? Like, it has to load my whole factory into something like... The factory currently is a little bit bigger than it was when I started the game, right? Than when I started recording this session of the game. Obviously, it was much larger than when I first started the game. But it's not much larger. And last time the game had this issue where it kind of crashed when I tabbed out and back in. The factory was smaller than it is now. And indeed smaller than it was when I started this session while everything was working fine. So there's not really any reason I can think of that it should have trouble after playing for some length of time versus have trouble after having a factory of a certain size. ran out of firewires already, pretty much. But I think I have enough to do what I want to do here, and actually the issue is that I ran out of materials to make collectors out of. Where are my collectors? Here's a couple. Well, one. Ingots. Yeah. So this is motes of fire, right? Yes. You know what? I'm actually going to save here and call it a day. Because this is the first time I'm trying to continue after the game has had that kind of hiccup where it freezes for a bit for no reason. And I'm just the tiniest bit worried. Hello, I said YouTube. That like autosaving has broken now or something. So, and I'm sure it's been a reasonable length of time for a video. I can't even really tab out to OBS. Yeah, a little over an hour. Okay. So that's it for today. What have I done? Not a lot of innovations, but using a void chest for the first time. Just to put into it, never take out of it. It's just a big garbage bin, but soon we'll progress to the point where that'll be useful. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.